Okay, hi, I'm AnnaLiza. I'm here with a couple of different groups today. I'm a part of the Comrades of Color Caucus with the Freedom Socialist Party and Radical Women. And I'm also here with Organized Workers for Labor Solidarity, which has a campaign to root out racism in King County. And so when we heard that there are folks claiming that white lives matter, we're here to say that, Black lives matter and all oppressed folks' lives matter. This is not the time where they should be coming out. I mean, we're in the middle of the trial when we saw the lynching of George Floyd. We're in the time where there's so many Asian Americans and API people who are being attacked. That's not acceptable to say that other lives don't matter. And so I'm out here to say that I support folks who are here and that white lives have always mattered. And now is not the time to exert that because we know that everybody's lives matter. So it's kind of what my sign says here. Fascists aren't welcome here, as well as Black Lives Matter. Here's my other side.
Well, it's like, the analogy I like to use is we have Mother's Day, we have Father's Day, and little kids sometimes will go, well, when's Children's Day, right? And it's like, every day is Children's Day, right? I think a lot of people don't understand when you say systemic racism, what that means. And how, if you're white in America and you had a hard life, you still benefited from being white when you got on the starting line because you were afforded certain things in society at an unconscious level that somebody who is Black, Indigenous, or a person of color doesn't get benefit of.
Well, I think there's a lot of white folks who aren't doing well and who are also struggling based on the economic system. I mean, maybe they may not have been treated differently because of their skin color, but definitely, if you're poor and white, especially if you're homeless, especially if you have a disability, there are other ways that white folks too, suffer under the economic system. And that's really the root of the racism, of the sexism, of the homophobia. It's the economic system, capitalism, that profits from exploiting different groups. And they try to pit people against each other so that, we'll be divided instead of saying, no, we all deserve more. And there shouldn't be so much profit, especially now, during this pandemic, especially here in Seattle, when we see Amazon and other big corporations having such a huge wealth gap. That's just not acceptable, and it's dividing folks to say some people have more than others. But we see who's losing out right now, and who, as far as the disproportionate numbers who are suffering and aren't accessing the health system, those who aren't getting as much support in the workplace. A lot of those are not just people of color, but folks who are economically at the bottom. And so it's a whole economic system that pits us against each other. And instead of focusing on that, some of these, white supremacists or fascists would rather promote themselves and put down others instead of really attacking the cause of their problems, which again is the system.
Do you think they scheduled this purposely on April 11th because of the ongoing Chauvin trial in Minneapolis? Do you think that was part of their strategy?
I don't know what to think about. I can't assume what they were thinking, but that's what I would assume.
If you could change one thing, if you could become mayor in Seattle for 24 hours, you could change one thing, but only one thing, and it's going to stick, what would be the one thing you would change?
I think there are so many things that need to be changed.
You got to pick one.
Just because it's such a hot topic right now, I would say the one thing I would change right now is to have rent control or rent ceiling right now, and have that last for a while. I definitely think people should be housed. There shouldn't be folks on the street. We have so much wealth, but I think that's one thing that could at least put a pause on things.
We do a ton of coverage on the unhomed, and it ties to so many things. It ties to mental health. It ties to the drug epidemic that's going on. It ties to alcoholism. When you are in a position where you don't know where you're going to sleep, where you don't know where your next hot meal is going to come from, you get ground down very, very quickly. And you can't function to hold a job or look for a job or do the other basic things of life. And then depression, PTSD, anxiety kicks in. And once they're out of the medical system, they start to self-medicate, and you get into this vicious cycle.
Absolutely, and that could also contribute to other alternatives in order to have your basic needs met, which could also land folks in jail, because there are laws that attack the homeless. Obviously, more skills are needed to de-escalate folks, or just not be threatened by folks who are experiencing hardship right now. So yeah, there's a lot of needs there.
Thank you so much.